Hello everyone, welcome back to Shuprej World. In this video, I will explain completely about C language. What is C language, why we use it, everything in detail. In simple way that you can easily understand, and by the end of this video, for sure you will understand every concept which is there in C language. If you watch till the end, you can easily understand all the concepts and topics in C language. Let us start. Before starting, what is C language? Why we need a C language? Usually, languages are used to communicate with the people. Languages, why we use the languages? To communicate with the people, right? That might be English, Kannada, Hindi, Telugu, Tamil, any language which is used to communicate with the people, right? They can understand what you are going to tell about. But when it comes to computer, it doesn't understand your languages. That might be Kannada, Hindi, Telugu, English, Tamil, any language. Computer doesn't understand your languages. It will understand only programming language. Clear? You have to communicate with the programming language. But here is the problem. Computer understand only binary language, but you doesn't understand what is binary language, which means binary language in the sense 100 100. This is the binary language which is there in the ones and zeros. That is called binary language. Computer will understand only binary language. It doesn't understand your common language. That is the problem. Then how to communicate with the computer? How to communicate with the system? Here, communicating with the system means CPU. CPU will process, right? This will understand only binary language, that is low level language. Why we call it is low level? Low level. Why? Because it is more deep. Even humans cannot understand that language. It is more deep. That's why it is low level language which is written in binary format. Here we have chips, that is transistors 10010, which means 1 is a set, 0 means unset. We have chips inside the CPU, the transistor. 1 means set, 0 means unset, which means 1 is switch on and 0 is switch off. That is the meaning of this 0 and 1. If you understood this much, what is low level language, binary level language, and what is programming language, why we use it, then you can easily understand the next points. Here we have high level language. What is mean by high level language? Which means this is the programming script. Programming script which is written by the programmer. It is in a human understandable way. Written by programmer. This is in a human understandable format. Because this is high level language, we can easily understand if we read it. Clear? But lower level language is a which is there in more deep. We cannot understand. It is in a binary format. That's why we cannot understand. High level means which is written by the programmer. Humans can easily understand it. Human understandable format. Clear? Format. If you understood this much, we have one more language, that is assembly level language. Assembly level language. Why we use this assembly level means when we write the script, the programming script, the programming code, computer doesn't understand that format. That is why we come up with the assembly level language. Here it is neither completely in binary format, neither completely in binary format and nor completely in human understanding format. Clear? Why we use assembly level language means whatever the script we will write in the high level language, computer doesn't understand it. That's why we need assembly level language, which is not there in the, which is not neither completely binary format and nor completely human understandable format. Whatever we write in high level language, it will convert to the assembly level. I'll explain in a flowchart way. Here, whatever we write in the high level language, it will convert to assembly. Then computer can understand. After that, it will convert to the binary. That is machine readable format, binary language. Then CPU will process it and send the output according to the script, according to the input we have given in the high level language. Clear? Understood this much clearly? If you understood clearly, then we can easily move to the next topic and you can easily understand those also. Here I told you high level language. The programmer will write a script in a programming language. I have told you the script, whatever the script he will write, that will be in high level language. The script, how it should be, it has a set of rules. To write the script, to write the program, any code, we have a set of rules. The rules that can called as syntax also. We have syntax for each topic. How to write this, how to write that. Everything, for everything we have set of rules. That is in the high level language. Clear? This is damn basics of any language, any programming language. If you understood this much easily, we can proceed. If you are not clear with this, listen once again, understand it and continue this video. Let us move to the next topic. Here in C language, the code has mainly three parts. That is, first one is preprocessor, second one is main function, and third one is statements. Here preprocessor means, for example, if I take any example, ash includes standard input output dot h, standard input output dot h, and int main. Inside that I will write a set of statements and I will close that. Here whatever I will write as a header file, that might be ash includes standard input output dot h, which means I am including standard input and output header files inside the program code. That means printf and scanf will work. Printf and scanf. I am including printf and scanf inside the function, inside the program. If I take math.h, ash includes standard input output, math.h also I can take library.h, anything. These are called as preprocessor. Preprocessor. By this I can easily include the library functions, math functions, any calculations are happening inside the program means I can include the math function and library functions as well. Clear with the preprocessor? And the second one is main function. Here the main function is very important thing. It will tell the compiler that from where the execution of the program starts. From the main function only, program execution starts always. Because I can use any functions, n number of functions inside the program, that might be add, subtract, any function I will use in the program code. But the compiler will confuse from where exactly it has to start the execution. That's why we have main function. Always the compiler starts execution from main function only. Clear with this? Compiler starts execution from the main function only. Again, one more thing, we have statements. Whatever we will write inside the main function, those are statements. Clear? Those are statements. If you understood this much, then you can easily understand the program, how the structure of program is. And every program should include these three parts. Preprocessor should be there, main function, because from this only the compiler start execution, and statements inside the main function, those are executed. Whatever we will write inside the main function, those will be executed and return the output based on the given input. Clear with this? We have next topic, that is identifier. Identifier is also very important thing, very important concept. For example, if you want to, if you have written some data, if you want to store that data, how it will be done? Let us see. For example, int a is equal to 10. 10 is the value here. Clear? 10 is the value I am storing inside the variable a. A is the variable and int is the data type. Which type of data I am storing? For example, I am storing the value, the number. Then I have to take integer value. For example, I am taking 10.5, that is floating point number. I have to take float a is equal to 10. Clear? In this case, a is also called as a identifier. Here we have set of rules for identifiers. We have data types, right? Integer, float, double, void. These data types cannot be used as identifier because already it has an identity as a data type. We cannot use these data types as a identifier. Clear? If I have written int is equal to 10, then it will get confused. That's why to remove that confusion, we cannot use the data types as a identifier. That is the first rule. And the second rule is we have to use the alphabets, that might be A, B, C, D, any alphabet, and numbers also, underscores also. We can use the alphabets, numbers, and underscores also. I'll tell you how to use that. I'll tell you example for each. Here the first character should be an alphabet only and it should not be a keyword. I have already told you the inbuilt words like for, constant, if, integer. These keywords cannot be used as a identifier. And we cannot use like underscore. It should not start with the underscore. Always first character should be A. That might you can take A1 is equal to 10, A2 is equal to 20. Like that you can take, but the first character should be an alphabet only. Clear with the identifier? Let us move to one more interesting concept, that is data types. This is very simple concept data types. I have already told you that integer is a data type, which means which type of the data I am storing, based on that I have to take the data type. Here I am storing 10. 10 is a number. For integeric value I have to take the integer. We have few data types. Let me explain you. Int, float, double, char. Int means, here I have already told you that data type means which type of data you should which type of data you store, the compiler should understand. For that we will use the data type. Which type of data you store, compiler should understand. For that purpose compiler should understand. That is why we use the data type. For integer means integeric values. I have already told you integeric values. That might be 10, 20, 100, anything. And for float we have decimal values. But here is the disadvantage. We can store only limited. We can store only limited values. For that we have double. We can store high precision values inside the double. Clear? And we have character which can store only single character. That might be single character. We have A, B, C, D, anything. It will store only the single character. Clear? These are all the data types present in C. Integer means it will store the integeric values. Float means the decimal values, but it will store only limited values. To overcome that we have double. It will store high precision values. Character means it will store single character like A, B, C, D, anything. Clear with it? And these are inbuilt. It will understand by default. If you write int, float, double character, it will understand by default. And the next concept is user built data types. We have, these are inbuilt data types. We have user built data types also. Those are arrays, structures, and unions. For example, I'll tell you one simple difference between these two. I can modify this. I can take and I can modify this. These are derived from the primary data types, that is inbuilt, derived from primary data types, which means inbuilt data types. And these are user defined data types. User can define these data types. User defined. Why? Because we can modify, we can define. The programmer can define arrays based on their need. Clear? Whatever they want, they can modify it. They can define based on their needs. That's why these are user defined and user built data types. For suppose, let me take an array. Let me show an example. Example of array. Int a, this is the index, is equal to, I can store the set of values, that is 10, 20, 30, 40, anything, etc. Here this is a how many numbers I am storing inside the array. I have to write here, and this is the 0th index, first index, second and third index. If I want to access any of these array elements, I have to access by using a of 0. If I take a of 0, then automatically it will print 10. If I want to access 20, I have to access only by using the index of that value. Clear? I have to take a of 1, then I can easily access the value 20. If I want to access, then I have to give a of 2. Second position. Whatever is there in second position, I can easily access that value. That is 30. Same for this one also. If I take a of 3, I can access the value 40. This is how array elements accessing is done. Clear about this? In simple words, array is an ordered, indexed, homogeneous, continuous data collection. You can see here, we can see the order 10, 20, 30, 40 and indexed. Using the index value only, I can easily access that particular element inside the array. Homogeneous, everything is in same data type, that is integer. Clear? I can store only one type of data inside an array. I cannot take a plus b here. I cannot take characters here. I cannot take strings. Clear? It is homogeneous and continuous. It can be continued. How many numbers I want, I can easily store inside the array. Clear? It is continuous data collection which is there in the systematic format. This is an array. Clear about this array? We have two more things, structure and union. I'll tell you in simple words, structure and union. For example, if I want to store all the details of the student, that might be student name, student ID, student college, student address, student number, student email. If I want to store all the details of a student, which means all types of data, you can see a student name, student college, address, email, phone number, anything. If I want to store all types of data, student details, then different data types are there. It's a collection of storing in a single container. I can store different data types in a single container. I can store the different data types. That is what we use the structure and union. Clear? Inside the array I can store only one type of data. But here if I want to store all the types of data, for example student details, I can easily use the union and structure. Clear with this? I am just giving an idea how the array, structure and union we use, how exactly we use. I am just giving the brief explanation in short and simple that you can easily understand what does it mean. And the next concept is we have pointer, which is again very important topic. Pointer means, I'll tell you first, this is the address of the variable, which means I'll tell you pointer is a address of the variable. Here for example, if I have a is equal to 10, int a is equal to 10. Here in this stage, the initialization, declaration and initialization both are done. I'll tell you declaration and initialization. Here declaration means int a is equal to 10. That is declaration. Int a is equal to 10, that is initialization. Because I am initializing the value 10 to the variable a. I am initializing the value 10 to the variable a. That's why it is initialization. Clear? Declaration means just int a. This is declaration. I'm just declaring a. I haven't initialized any value to the a. That's why this is declaration. Clear with what is initialization and declaration? I have taken int a is equal to 10. I am storing the value 10 inside the variable a. Clear? Here the pointer means address of the variable. Here the variable is equal to a. Address of the variable. Where exactly this variable is storing. Clear? The address of the variable. This is not the address of the value. The address of the variable, which is denoted by address operator. Ampersand. Address operator. We have to denote using address operator. Address of that variable. This is the pointer. Clear? Again, if you observe one more thing here, always all the statements ends with what? Semicolon. This is the most important thing that you have to remember. All the statements ends with the semicolon. You have to remember. A is equal to 10. I have taken the semicolon. Semicolon. At the end of each statements, you have to put a semicolon. That is very important thing that you have to do. Clear with the pointer concept? The next concept is operators. Operators, which is very simple concept again. For example, if I take a is equal to 10 plus 20. Here a is a variable. All of you know. I am storing the sum of 10 and 20 inside the a. 10 and 20 are operators. Sorry. 10 and 20 are operands. Is equal to plus. These two are operators. Clear? Addition is equal to whatever we have: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division and modulus. These are operators. And along with that we have increment operator. Plus means increment operator, and minus means decrement operator. Here we can take a plus also. This increment operator can be used in two types, a plus or plus a. In this case, it will increment later. In this case, it will increment first, after that it will take that value. Again, for the decrement also, it can be used in two types. These are increment and decrement. This is post increment, pre increment, post decrement and pre decrement. Clear about these operators? And we have less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, not equal to. These are also operators. You can see in the loops. You can see these kinds of operators in loops. I'll tell you next. The next concept is conditional statements. Conditional statements. Why we use these conditional statements? I'll tell you an example. For example, I will take int a is equal to 10. Okay. If a is less than or equal to, I'll take 15, then it will print whatever is there inside here, else it will print this statement. If the statement is true, then it will print this statement. The output will be this one. If this is not false, then it will come to else part and print this one as a output. Clear with this? I'll take a statement. I'll take a condition inside the if block. If this is the true condition which satisfies a is equal to 10, then it will print the statements inside the if block. Clear? Then it will, if not, then only it will come to else part and print the statements inside the else block. Clear? In this case, a is less than 15. That's why it will print whatever is there inside the if block as the output. Clear with this? Let us move to the, we have here conditional statements, if, else and if else ladder. I have explained about these three in a long video. Go and check out in my channel. You can get it in simple way. I have explained. And next one is loop. We have loops. We have for loop, while loop and do while loop. I'll explain in simple way. Here for loop means, for example, for I is equal to 0, here I am initializing the value I is equal to 0, comma, I is less than or equal to 5, I plus plus. Here in this example, you can see that initialization declaration is done and condition is there, I is less than or equal to 5. This is the condition. If this exceeds, then the loop will be, it should exit automatically. And I plus plus, I will increment. Increment is also there. I will increment. And you can see the condition. And declaration initialization also there. These three steps can be done in the single line. After that, we have a set of statements here. Loop means repeating the same work. For example, I is equal to 0, I have written in only single line, I is equal to 0, I is less than or equal to 5, I plus plus. Initially, the I value will be 0. After that, it is less than or equal to 5, yes, it will go to next step, I plus plus, it will increment, I value will be 1. It is less than or equal to 5, that way it will increment again, I value will be 2, will be 3, again and again it will increment, 4, I value will be 5. It is less than or equal to 5. Again it will go and check, I value will be 6, which is not less than or equal to 5. That's why it will not go to this step. It will stop here immediately. Because here it will satisfy the condition I is less than or equal to 5. It will come out of that loop immediately and exit. Clear about this? Repeating the same work again and again. You can see, right? It will increment and come back to here. It will increment the value 1 to 2. Again it will check the condition. Again it will increment. Like that it will be repeating the same work again and again. And no need to write the same code. I don't need to write the same code. In a single line I have written, and it will be repeating again and again until the condition satisfies. And the second one is while loop, which is very simple one. While it will have the condition that is A is greater than B. If the condition satisfies, then only it will print the statements inside the while loop as a output. Only if it is true, then only it will execute and print the output. If it is not true, then it will not execute. In do while loop, for example, do, I'll take an example for do while loop here. Do, I'll have a set of statements. After that, I have while. Inside that, we have condition. It will first execute because it will not going to check any condition. It will execute. After the execution only, it will come and check the condition. That is why it will print the output at least once. Clear? It will not check the condition before. It will execute first what is there inside the do block. That's why it will execute at least once. That's why whatever is there inside the do block, it will execute and give the output. Even if the condition is not satisfying also, it will give the output. It will check the condition. If it will satisfy, again it will go back and loop it. Clear with this? In the while loop, if it will not satisfy the condition, it will not execute and give the output. Here it will check the condition later. That's why it will execute at least once. This is the major difference that you have to know. And the last concept is pointers. Sorry, I have already explained the pointers. I'll explain the functions. What is meant by function? We have something that is main function. I have already told about. It will tell the compiler from where the execution of the program starts. From the main function only, execution of the program starts. I think you got this concept. From main function only, the compiler starts executing. It will understand it has to execute from main function only, because I will use many functions inside the program. For example, I'll take something void. Void means it will return nothing. For example, I'll tell void means returns nothing, which means null. For example, I'll take add int a, int b. Here a and b are the parameters. Just I am explaining simple example for understanding. C is equal to a plus b. I'll take printf %d and c return, it will return c. Here I'll take one more function, that is main. For example, I'll take here add. I'll give the values to a and b, 3, 4. Then it will go and check the parameters a and b. The values are 3 and 4. The output will be 7. Again, I can give any numbers, add 10, 20. Again, it will check the parameters and give the output as 30. Clear? This is about the function. I have explained in just simple the small topics. Here completes this video. The complete explanation. I have told you about C language, what is programming language, why we use it, what is high level, assembly level line, how the high level is converted into binary language using assembly level language. I have explained in simple terms. If you don't know anything about programming language or C language, you can easily understand by this. Once again, it has 3 parts: preprocessor, main function and the statements. Preprocessor means whatever the things I want to include inside the program. Clear? And main function, compiler start execution from the main function only, and the statements inside the main function will be written in the output based on the given input. And identifiers, which is nothing but a variable name. The rules for the identifiers, it has to be alphabet, number and underscore, but it must start with the alphabet only, not with the number and underscore. And the data types, we have integer, float, double and character. These are all the inbuilt. We have user build, those are array and structure union. Array I have explained. For structure and union, if I want to store the different data types in a single container, I can use the structure and union. And next one is pointer, the address of the variable. It will go to the address of that variable, not the value. It will store the address of that variable, that is pointer. And all the statements should end with the semicolon only. We have operators, that is addition, subtraction, multiplication, division and modulus. These are all the operators. And increment, decrement, pre-increment, pre-decrement, pre pre-decrement, post-decrement we have. And these are all the less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, used in the conditional statements as well as the loops also. You can see here a is less than or equal to 15. I have used the operator in conditional statements. If it is true, then it will execute if block and give the output. If not, it will go to else block and give the output as a else block. And we have loops, for loop, while loop and do while loop. For loop, it will check the condition, based on that it will keep on incrementing. And while loop, it will check the condition, based on that only it will loop. It will give the output also. In do while loop, it will execute at least once, because it will check the condition later at the end. That's why at least once it will execute that code and give the output. Even if the statement is false, it will execute. And I have told you about functions. From main function only, the compiler start executing. And we have parameters. I can use any function, that is add, subtract and anything. I have taken the values to those parameters and the output will be these. I can take any values here. This is all about the C program. If you found this video even 1% helpful, then like this video, share it to Shivpriya World for more videos like this, and share this video with your friends who are from PCMB background and doesn't understand anything about programming language and C language. This video will be very much helpful to them. And one more thing, if you want me to explain any particular topic or subject, comment below and let me know. For sure I'll consider that. I hope this is very helpful to you. Thank you very much for watching till end. See you in the next video.